I remember I actually used to listen to FNN a long time ago. Whenever he dropped his first album, that song, what's it called? Pole to Pole, maybe, or is it called Poles? That song with NLE Choppa, and I remember liking it. I've revisited it recently. NLE definitely carries it, and it's not as good as I remember it being, but it's still good, you know. So I was kind of not necessarily excited, but I was intrigued when I looked on my little beeper app. That's how I know all the rap albums that drop every week. I looked in it and I'm like, you know what, this could be interesting. Maybe I could find a video on here, or like not a video, like I can listen to this. It can end up being enjoyable, and I might have a little sleeper album that I can make a video on that's actually pretty good. And I kind of have that. Just a little bit. Funny thing, I'm thinking about it more. I'm dropping the overall down 1 point. I'm not going to go ahead and tell y'all what it is, but I just dropped it down 1 point because the more I think about it, the more this overall makes sense. Before I talk about why the overall is, there's a new song out on my channel, and on literally every single streaming platform you look up Fatal K, it'll be the first thing that pops up. My new song Stussy. Go listen to it. I've got a Patreon where you can go for as little as $1.50 a month. You can go support me if you want to. Show support, get a lot of benefits if you upgrade or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know how Patreon works. Go check it out. Links in the description. I hate saying the word mid, but I feel like I'm going to say it a lot. I'm going to try and say average instead of mid, because I hate saying mid because I don't know. A lot of people... Actually, I hate the way the word has been used recently. I should say that. Because a lot of people say mid and automatically assume that means bad. That's not what it means at all. But by the way, Quin's voice... Alright, Quin NFN's. I'm just going to say Quin. His voice is very unique. He has a very unique voice. I don't know if I like it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't, depending on the mixing, depending on the way, how much energy he's bringing. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I end up liking it, or other times I feel like, dang, this voice sounds kind of screechy. You know what I'm saying? Some nice fun lines, some nice fun, cool little lines. A lot of the singing / melodies don't sound good. They kind of sound bad, I ain't gonna lie. So maybe he can kind of steer clear of that, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, they don't sound good. They don't sound good at all. Songs over 2.5 minutes are too long, because Quin's style, like the way he's rapping and just who he is, it does not translate well to even attempting a 2.5 minute song. He's best when he's doing the shorter ones. Most of the production though is actually very hard. You know, it's rather good. The opening song is great. I want to say that real quick. This album started off very strong, like 2 a.m. in what is it? 2 a.m. in Houston, I think. Is it 2 a.m. in Houston? I'm about to look while I talk about it. But like I said, a lot of the singing and melodies are bad. However, his actual rapping, it isn't bad. It just heavily depends on the type of energy he's bringing, you know, just certain things kind of jog it down. There's only a couple features on here. Sauce Walka doesn't do that bad. I don't really like O3 Greedo. That Mexican OT does pretty good. Yeah, 2 a.m. in Austin, not Houston. I apologize. But that song starts off very good. A hard, quicker song that kind of gets in the development of it. I do feel like the album is it isn't too long. Excuse me, it's repetitive. One of the problems I had with the Moneybagg Yo record is that it kind of was just a lot of the same songs, just rinse and repeat. This album struggles from that. I do think a lot of the samples sound good. On certain beats, they're very interesting, and I don't know, they kind of hit, you know what I'm saying? Like Bow Wow has a nice sample, it kind of hits hard. I rather like it. Yeah, it's kind of just... It's hard to explain something average because you can't really say why it's average. You can just say why it's not great and why it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad because it's sonically nice to listen to, and I feel like certain songs, if I'm not listening to them in a whole project, I could probably go back to as a one song listen and find them much, much, much more enjoyable. But only shorter ones, because like I said, if it's over 2.5 minutes, it's way too long because it just gets repetitive. And 30 seconds might not sound like a lot. When you're listening to a song, it's a lot. You kind of might, hearing that hook one more time, you might not need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Wow, my voice crack was very, very embarrassing. I really hope that it wasn't that noticeable. But yeah, it's kind of just generic trap music, really. It's kind of all it is. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It's just average. It's mid.